Hello, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Kurt, and welcome back to Farlands or Bust. Woof, I know. Episode 613, lucky number 613, for your Tuesday, October 11th, 2016. Now, how did we get in this situation, my friends? How did we get in this situation indeed? Oh, you know what we can do? I thought I had no use for this string, but there's exactly 8 string. Can't we make something useful out of it? We most certainly can. Feathers? No. Gluten? No. Cocoa beans? No. Buckets? We have enough buckets. Let's try to get out of our pre-built hidey hole. I think an ocean is that way. So let's actually try to perhaps digging up in this direction is a bad idea. Bad idea. Bad idea. Sorry, Wolfie. Okay. All right. The episode, yeah, woof. The episode's barely begun, and we've already had a near disaster. That was a long time coming that we've had like such panic-stricken sand shoveling. No, isn't it? All right. Whew. Note to self. Don't do that again. Oh my god. All right. Okay. All right. He says as he continues to dig sand. All right. Perhaps this whole. Let me check the surroundings. Actually, this whole making a hidey hole out of a mine. What is this thing called? Dungeon. Maybe that's just a bad strategy altogether. He says as he almost falls back in. All right. Let's get Wolfie up here. Let's get rid of this sand. There we go. Well done, Wolfie. Sorry about that. Let's get you some pigs and some skeleton residue as we begin, like I was trying to say for this episode of Farlands or Bust for your Tuesday, October 11th. If you head on over to farlandsorbust.com, you will see that we are continuing to raise money for Child's Play charity. Right there on the homepage is a... Oh, these pigs were not dry. Right over there on the homepage is a... Oh, I have too many arrows. Well, good thing I'm terrible. Is a widget, a donation widget, a box, a graphic, if you will, a dynamic graphic that not only follows our progress towards our $60,000 goal this season, season 6 of Farlands or Bust, but also a place where you hit the donate button, you can contribute to that yourself. Of course, through Child's Play charity, you're contributing to help get toys, books, games to kids in hospitals around the world. You can learn more specifically about the charity at childsplaycharity.org. But you can also, with your donation, ask a question that I will answer in a future episode of Farlands or Bust here, since this, after all, is going to be a long journey, and it's quite literally transformed into a Let's Play / podcast. Literally podcast, because it is also a podcast, in case you weren't aware. There's a link in the video description where you can get directed to the podcast feed. It is also available on iTunes. I haven't found it, though, but a while ago, Android said that it was available on their Android podcast store. But you really only need the feed, is all you're looking for. And you can get that in the description in case you don't want to see amazing things like this. I'm talking to you, podcast listeners. You're missing out on some amazing structures in the ground, and a lone block of ice in the distance. So yeah, farlandsorbust.com. Speaking of farlandsorbust.com, did some housekeeping. Did a little bit of housekeeping over there. Updated some information. Hesitantly, I re-enabled the overviewer map, but it only goes up to episode 216 or something, or 186, after the end of the second season. Well, third season, technically speaking. The 699496 monument, which was the second Flobathon, the Flobathon in which we misplaced Wolfie for a bit. And it also, I think that overviewer includes the first episodes of the fourth season, which is where we invoke the hidey hole paradox and go back to get Wolfie, and then bring him back once again to the 600,000 F3 monument mark. There's a little bit of a drama there in the beginning of that season. But yeah, I've re-enabled that to give you it gives a good idea of what the overviewer map must look like. Of course, we are currently over 2 million, so simply multiply that number by 3, and that's what the overviewer map would look like about now. Big, long, spindly, single chunk, thick layer of just terrain generated in one direction. Some brief misdirections here and there, but yeah, I put that up there. I put the new links to the new T-shirt store, the TeePublic store. I also updated the about page, specifically the what equipment do you use. I finally put the new computer specs up there on the about page of farlandsorbust.com, as well as some other minor tweaks and adjustments to code and style, and made sure I finally, once and for all, updated the copyright to say 2016 as opposed to 2015. You know, in October, that's a good time to do that. But I just want to let you guys know about that. Of course, there will be grander updates eventually. I'm kind of more or less waiting for the this season to reach its charity goal. And of course, to have the Flobathon, and then we'll do a refresh of the website like we always do. Might actually do a redesign. That design goes all the way back to June 2011 when I first started calling it Farlands or Bust and first started doing the Child's Play charity donations. It's a design that works, so I stuck with it. All hand-coded HTML and CSS. Because that's what I was doing for a living at the time, and now I'm bad at it because I don't remember anything, and I haven't kept up with any of the current technologies or softwares or anything related to graphic design and web design. So I better hope this whole YouTube and Twitch thing shapes out, because I've got no backup plan. I've not kept my skills sharpened. Oh, man, that's terrifying. But, yeah, as we continue on here, I want to thank everybody for their continued support and watching and donations. Child's Play charity, of course. It's very much appreciated. And let's try to find... I think there's a way around here. Oh, there's a way right through here. Don't mind if I do. Ooh, look at that tree up there. Don't mind if I do, indeed. What was I going to... well, I thought I would have more a story about this than before, but I don't. I recently, up on Twitter, mentioned how today I canceled my cable television account. I literally no longer need it. The only thing I've noted the last month or so I've been here, I've been watching, is FX has The Simpsons reruns, and I would just turn that on and have it on in the background. Entertaining, yes, and sometimes some episodes I forgot about. Whoa. Ow! Whoa! Wolfie! Get out from under there. Well, this episode this whole episode 613 so far has not been going well for myself or Wolfie. There's 3 hearts of damage for you. And I forgot my workbench, probably in the dungeon. Well, I don't know how long I've had that workbench, but it's gone now, my friends. It's gone now. I could go back for it, but the nighttime is arriving. Yeah, I totally did forget that, didn't I? I felt like, did you not feel that as well? I felt like I was forgetting something. I felt like when I was picking up those bones from those pigs, I'm like, I shouldn't have this many inventory slots available. And sure enough, I should have listened to those spidey senses. What was I going to make here anyway? Oh, some bread so I can get some health back. That's right. Bloop. Not even full. Not even full health. What in tarnations is going on here? Let's make this sword while I'm at it, I guess, as well, since... Oh, I've already made a sword! Dang it! Dang it! Wow, I should maybe not continue recording this episode, because only worse things, apparently, are going to be happening. Now I have 3 iron swords on me? You can't... This isn't the type of game... This isn't the type of game that includes tool repair... That was not introduced until much later, actually, in Minecraft. I think that was at least the 1.0 update, if not later. This is beta 173, but I'm not going to take any chances. Let's hold that thought on that story. I don't even have enough dirt. My gosh, I forgot how to Farlands, everybody. I forgot how to Farlands. All right, let's try this again. The story I was about to tell. Let's hold on to that thought until further notice. I want to make sure I'm not tempting any more fate by letting things spawn. All right, let's just reset. Tomorrow is a new day. And a good luck episode 613-ness. Am I right, Wolfie? Woof. I am right. I'm not right, I don't think. Oh, man. So, yeah, I canceled. I wanted to cancel my cable because I don't use it anymore. I also got slightly perturbed. The only, new show that I was watching was Mr. Robot, but I was away for the season finale, which was episode 12 in the series, which is fine, because it's normally I would catch it on demand, because the cable television has on demand. But they wouldn't add the last episode to on demand, and it's been over a month since the season finale aired. And I tweeted at them, and they said, "Oh, we'll get that added. We must be missing a show." No, never added to the list. Always refreshing. The standard def edition was added, but it was unwatchable. I will not accept your standard definitions. No, it was literally unwatchable because it was both letterboxed and then the other boxed because it was standard definition. So I was watching on my 42-inch television a 17-inch widescreen image that was all pixely and stuff. So that wasn't fun. So I couldn't do that. But they never added it, so I ended up just watching it on the web, the internets. Legally, I signed into the USA Network website, HTTPS, and watched it there just from my computer as opposed to from the comfort of my couch. It was a disappointing finale episode. But, yeah, so I'm like, you know what? Nuts to this. I can save $100 a month, and then some, because you gotta rent the cable boxes. So I made the call. I finally made the call. I've been putting it off for actually a couple weeks now. I made this decision a while ago. But me and phone calls, and of course anticipating any sort of cable company, their retention specialists that you get directed to if you want to cancel your service. Got a guy. He was very confused. He disappeared for a while and then said, "Well, I can give it to you," because I wanted to keep my cable internet, obviously. I could, what if we give you the basic package and you'll be spending actually $5 less for the basic package, for your internet and basic package than you would just the internet by itself. And I'm like, no, thank you. A, if that is the case, it's only for 6 months or 3 months or whatever introductory rate. And B, that's not including the FCC fees. That's not including the $17 rental fee for the cable box. It's not including all these other things. So I said, no. And then once again came back a couple more times. Are you sure you don't want to? I mentioned that I watched through Chromecast and my Amazon stick, and you don't want live TV for live events? No, I don't watch sports. I don't listen to the news or watch the news at all on television. If I needed to, I could purchase an HD antenna to connect to my TV. If I really, really, really wanted to get the network shows over the air, I could do that, but I'm not going to. And he finally relented. Actually, it really wasn't that difficult. I've had more problems back in Illinois doing it through Comcast. They have a little bit more special retention specialists. There have been many stories on the internet about that. Sometimes them becoming quite aggressive, even. But this guy, I'd say he gave 2 or 3 valiant efforts to maintain that subscription, but then finally gave up. And what I mentioned on Twitter, it was just kind of funny how he was all like, "Oh, you don't want to cancel your cable." He was friendly and cheerful and trying to get me not to cancel my cable. But then when I finally made it absolutely clear that no, I do not want such a thing, his tone suddenly shifted to that. The best idea I could come up with, he shifted to how the co-driver in Dirt Rally sounds if you're going too slow. How his calls go to left 3, to finish, you know? It's like, okay. And it was very terse and quick, and it was very curt. He was very curt in that final moments of the phone call, and I've been assured it's been canceled, and now I just have to return my cable boxes to the retail location nearest me, and I'll be all set. I am now part of the cord cable. What is it? Cord cutters? Cable cutters? Stone cutters? The Simpsons. Yeah. The cord cutters or whatever it's called. I should join that subreddit. No thanks. But yeah, I found myself not watching any TV ever, except just as like noise in the background, and even that I know is just a waste of electricity and just uselessness. So yeah, that actually turned into a longer story than I anticipated. There was no drama, I got no guff, or really anything, you know, that really would have caused any issue. And now I'm saving money and not having a useless service piped into my house. So that's good. Right, Pig? That's really good. Wow, that pig was actually really interested in holding a conversation. But yeah, let's continue on here, and let's actually get to some of these questions from donors to Child's Play Charity. FarlandsBus.com is where you can donate, by the way. This one from the Race Stewards. I actually had a few car-related questions lined up here, and I had to split them up here between episodes because I finished the last episode talking about the Subaru, and now the Race Stewards, aka Jinglestog, is asking, how's the Cavalier doing? Between the Subi and the Chevy, which one gets used more when you go out? Any chance for that Cavalier Race League? The Cavalier is fine. It's actually been driving quite well. I've drove it a little bit more than I normally do the last few months. But yeah, surprisingly well. Yeah, I nothing much to write home about there. It recently passed 100,000 miles on it, so yeah, it's doing fine. I do have to take it out, clean it up, vacuum it out, try to find a way to reattach that plastic trim piece that's falling off the A-pillar on the driver's side, and then head on down to CarMax to put it out to pasture, because it is no longer of use to me. I just hope that they're not like, here, I'll give you $200 for it. I'll be like, what? No. So, yeah, I'm a little bit worried. I was worried about canceling my cable, and now I'm worried about selling this car. And yes, I know. Hold your comments. I know I can get more money via private sale or posting it up on Craigslist, but I don't really want to deal with that. That's not. That is less. What's the word I'm looking for? That is even less desirable than taking it to a used car chain to see how much they'll give me for it. But yeah, it's served its purpose, and this is very apt music because it's been with me for a while. Oh man, yeah, it's not a car that you gain too much emotional attachment to. I didn't do any sort of customizations or upgrades to it. It was a good car. It was a cheap car to begin with. Base model. Manual windows and door locks. It's got a spoiler, though. It's got a spoiler. It means it goes like 10 miles an hour faster, right? Actually, probably slower is what that does. Wolfie, that's a cactus. So yeah, I mean, we'll see what happens from that. But yeah, it's time to free up that space in the garage, and then just stick to the Subaru. So yeah, since then the Subaru is the main car. I actually got to take that out and give it a good scrub. And it doesn't rain at all here in Phoenix, but cars still get dirty. It's the dust. It's the dirt, the stickiness. You know, it just turns the car dull. So I gotta take care of that, which is fine indeed. Let's make some boats here, why don't we? But yeah, no, I'm not. No. I mean, people have suggested, oh, you should turn it into an autocross car, or you know, there's certain leagues of old. What are they called? The jalopy leagues. What's the word I'm looking for? What is the word I'm looking for where, like, the car has to be $500 or less? The Lemons cars, the 24 hours of Lemons. No, I don't think we're going to be doing that with a 2004 Cavalier. Perhaps the next owner shall decide to do that, but not I. Not I. No thanks. So yeah, I'll probably be getting rid of that, and perchance, depending on... Careful, Wolfie, alright. Depending on budgetary concerns, hopefully whatever comes of that can go towards fun car, classic car, maybe, I don't know. Perhaps I'll put that money away, and over 27 years the interest will accrue enough where I could maybe purchase, I don't know, a windshield of a 240Z or something. Oh man, optimism, I'm full of it. Speaking of optimism, let's answer a question from Sneaky Pete in a moment here, relating to that 240Z. Doesn't have to be a 240 either. I like the 260 and the 280 is all right by me as well. I'm not a picky picker of pickitude. All right, let's make this elevated hidey hole once again, trying to be as safe as possible. Yeah, this last day was a little bit more fortunate for us here on the journey. I should not jinx us here, but let's go to sleep, and I'll answer this question in the morning. Oh, that's not that. What the heck kind of noise was that? That was not the snoring noise at all. I'm sorry. What noise was I even making? What is that noise? A door opening? What is wrong with me? I should not have sat down to record this episode at this particular junction. There's a few wires that are crossed. Suddenly there's no cable. It was providing me my lifeblood. Watching constant Simpsons reruns in the background. That's where I got my personality. But, Sneaky Pete. You mentioned that you quite like the two-door coupe shape of the 240Zs. I was wondering if you had any thoughts on the Skyline. Skyline? I also had a liking for the Z cars in my younger days, young whippersnappers, but eventually moved to Skylines, plural, as they have similar characteristics. They are also nicer to drive, cheaper. Cheaper? Do you live in Japan? Because then I might be able to consider that claim, but cheaper. And have all the mod cons, air conditioning, ... That's the only one. There's air conditioning in the Datsun cars. A lot of them like need to be converted from Freon or whatever, but they have air conditioning sometimes. Could you see yourself in a Skyline now that they're legal in the USA? Well, I don't know. You say the word cheaper, but I don't think you know. I don't think that word means what you think it means, or whatever that meme says. It's probably, I don't know, I've not looked at this or achieved any quotes, but I'm assuming it's probably more expensive to import, like the transport import fees to import a Skyline to the United States than my entire budget in consideration for purchasing a classic car. It's very low. It's very low. So that's out of the question. And specifically also, I think because now that they are available to be imported, but for those of you who don't know, you can't, unless a car was manufactured for driving and certified for driving in America, you can't import it to the United States unless it's, is it 40 years old? Is that the age? Or 25 years old? Something. There's a thing where then it becomes a collector car instead of a daily driver car, and then you can import it. And the Skyline was one of those vehicles that no U.S. spec car was ever produced or brought by the manufacturer here. So now all the JDM folk are clamoring over their newly to be acquired Skylines. I don't know. I'm not a particular fan, to be honest, of them. I don't know too much about them, but yeah, just the fact that now they are available, I'm assuming the prices are not affordable. Again, like I said, I haven't researched such things. But yeah, no, I'm figuring my reasoning behind going for the Z cars is that they're available-ish. They're cheap, depending, on at least the condition I'm looking for. And from what I understand, from what I've been told on the grapevine, mechanically they're very simple and reliable. So I feel like it would be a good car to learn to own a classic car or a classic sports car in that regard, before I go jumping off the deep end into more advanced classic car ownership or older, going back to the 60s, 50s, 40s, earlier perhaps, with whatever crazy ideas I have, these delusions of grandeur, as you will. But yeah, that's my idea. That's my reasoning. They're also small, so it really doesn't matter. A lot of those older cars are gigantic, so a small car might be good to start with as well. Easier to find a space in the garage for. Also, yes, they look cool and they seem cool and they're probably fun to drive. So yeah, I'm not going to start looking elsewhere. Heck, I'm also like, hey, if somebody had an old Ford Falcon or something that was like cheap and it drove and was cool to drive and it was simple, then yeah, that's also something on my list to be like, that'd be neat too. But I'm not particularly. Look at all this ice. I'm not particularly. I'm not as close to this purchase as perhaps I've let on. Is what I'm trying to get across. Oh man. So yes, I appreciate your suggestion. But, and perhaps all of the things I've said previous to this about the Skyline or whatever are wrong, but that's my impression of the situation as it is. But thank you, Sneaky Pete, for your donation and your question. Let's see here. An anonymous donor asks, what kind of content makes you most content, or happy to make and publish? For example, more happenstance recording like edited Twitch streams, or scheduled and structured series like Flob. I know you aren't much for personal exposure. I am the last one. I am for personal exposure. How about another vlog sometime? Excuse me, Wolfie. Jeez. Let's go down the list here. We've really shifted gears. Hey, that's a car reference. Content makes you most content to publish. Well, I honestly don't feel like like Farlands or Bust is a structured series. Yes, it has a structure, but it's still very, like, I just went from talking about classic cars to now we're being a little bit more meta about it and talking about YouTube. And in the last episode, we talked about something wild and crazy that just should never be discussed on YouTube based on the comments they receive, but I will. You will not stop me. So yeah, I feel honestly like Farlands or Bust is actually a lot more open and freeing of content than, say, Forza Horizon. I feel like I'm having fun with it, obviously, but I feel like I'm a little bit more... is typecast the word? Typecast is not the word, but I'm more forced to concentrate on the game at hand and continually come up with ways to keep that interesting within the scope of the game. I can't suddenly go off pontificating on the differences between old Datsuns versus Skylines or anything like that. Although actually, in that series perhaps, but you get my point. I can't go off talking about my SpaceX experiences in Forza Horizon or Tomb Raider or whatever other game I'm playing as a linear series like that. But I suppose what you could ask is what are some of my favorite videos I've made. I would say certainly things where the most spontaneity can and does happen, like earlier episodes of Farlands or Bust, like when we found the golden apple of episode 311-ness, or when we went to the Nether, even though that was a planned event, going to the Nether, the way things happened just accidentally made a great story. Even I just mentioned losing and then having to go back for Wolfie. That made a great story. There's also, multiplayer stuff that ended up making a great story or having kind of great memories in it, like the disappointed F1 driver. It was just a portion of that series, but that made me look forward to making that series, and it made a lot of people more attached to the series versus otherwise just a straight, clean F1 Let's Play, I suppose. So yeah, that's really hard to say. And it's like I've mentioned before, YouTube in general. Speaking of YouTube, you're talking about YouTube series here. It's kind of in a place right now, isn't it? It's kind of in a place. Just I've done this from time to time, and I did it a couple days ago. I did it. I've done this a couple times, and a couple days ago, as early as. But open up a private browsing window. This is gonna sound bad until I get to the point. Open up a private browsing window. Don't act like you don't know the shortcut. And go to the YouTube.com homepage. YouTube.com. That's YouTube.com homepage. And just look at all the videos that are on the YouTube.com homepage. Obviously, you're not logged in. You're in a private browsing window. This is just the default page that random non-YouTuber Stevens gets when he goes to YouTube.com. And just look at all the videos. Are any of those videos things you want to be participating in? Just take in the whole thing, all the categories, all the thumbnails, all the titles as a whole. Is this enjoyable to you? Even go to like the gaming section. Is that where you think I belong? Where somebody like even somebody who is very successful on YouTube, Vintage Beef, does his content belong in that realm of just the content, that whole content sandwich that's there? It's really distressing. This is all non-withholding of all the other things that are going on with YouTube, with copyrights and partnerships and censorship or whatever you want to call it. Just the simple environment isn't what it used to be, so that affects content quite a bit, I think. I try not to let it, but it maybe it doesn't affect my content, it affects my motivations, perhaps, is the word for it. Ooh, here's a... Ooh, maybe not. Maybe. We can make this work. Digging into sand didn't do anything bad to us earlier in the episode, now did it? But yeah, that's kind of where I'm at with that. What were your other questions? You asked about... Have a seat. Well done. Asked about... what did they ask about? Sorry. I'm like concentrating on making this sort of pre-built hidey hole. Oh. I totally lost this question. Oh, how about another vlog sometime? Maybe, and perhaps, and definitely. Although I think I'm going to go with keeping my content here. The vlog channel, in concept, made sense, and certainly made sense in the realm of when it was a Patreon tier to unlock. Like, ooh, unlock me making a new channel to put all this stuff in. But I feel like when I do vlog type stuff, it's going to take a lot of time for me to get comfortable with that, as you already inferred with your question. But I feel like placing it here on this channel simply because this is where everybody knows my name, and putting it up on the other channel, I don't know. I mean, there might be some folk who are over there who aren't here. I'll make sure to direct them, but it doesn't feel it feels too fragmented, and again, that even leads to my issues a little bit with the way YouTube is going. Is the whole thing, if I can do a callback to what I was talking about before, that homepage is incredibly fragmented and has no clear message and is a little bit just disorienting and confusing, and you don't feel like you belong, like I said, and it's just, I feel like making more and more channels is just another symptom of that I don't want to keep propagating to. I'm just putting a lot of big words in my sentences to make it sound like I know what I'm talking about. But yeah, thank you everybody anyway for all your donations to Child's Play charity. Please keep going to farlandsorbust.com to keep giving. That would be much appreciated. That's very generous of you. And of course, like I said, once we do reach that $60,000 goal is where we will hold yet another long overdue Flobathon where I'll finally press F3 to see how far we've walked. And then after that, we'll do a nice refresh of the Farlands or Bust website. Maybe once and for all, we'll get that goofy overviewer map updated and up somewhere that can actually handle it. And we'll continue on. We will always be continuing on. Based on the calculations, it's going to be quite a time. We'll be continuing on towards those far lands here in Minecraft Beta 1.7.3. My name is Kurt. Thank you so much for watching. I will see you next time. I felt like, did you not feel that as well?